All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore a really profound idea from Jewish mysticism today. It's this concept that our physical sense of sight, our eyes, can actually be a gateway to perceiving a much deeper spiritual reality. The whole idea is that we can learn to see not just with our eyes, but with our very soul. So let's explore how that actually works. So, at the very heart of this philosophy is this powerful duality. You've got the body, which is seen as physical and finite. It's often described as a vessel of darkness. But then you have the soul, which is its complete opposite. It's spiritual, it's infinite, a source of pure light. The entire spiritual journey, then, is really about one thing: figuring out how to let that inner light shine through its physical shell. So how in the world do we bridge that gap between the body and the soul? Well, our journey today is going to cover 6 key ideas. We'll kick things off with the windows of the soul, then we'll get into the power and the real perils of imagination, and we'll build all the way up to transforming our physical sight into this profound spiritual insight. Okay, first things first. We have to kind of rethink what our senses are even for. I mean, they're not just for getting around in the physical world. In this mystical framework, they're seen as the primary gateways, the actual windows that the soul uses to experience the world and also to express itself. This tradition really hones in on 4 specific windows. You can think of them as the 4 main channels the soul uses to interact with everything, and, just as important, the channels we can use to connect back with our soul. And here they are. You've got sight, hearing, smell, and then there's the uniquely human power of speech. Now, while every one of these is a two-way channel, today we're really going to focus on the most powerful and honestly the most complex window of them all, our sense of sight. Okay, so this brings up a pretty big question, right? If the soul is infinite, how can our physical eyes, which, let's face it, only see finite things, how can they ever perceive it? Well, the answer starts with training our eyes to look for echoes of the infinite in the world all around us. And what's cool is that these practices are surprisingly simple, but really, really deep. Like gazing at the huge, borderless sky or the ocean helps your mind go beyond its physical limits. Looking at the living, flickering light of a candle connects us to a source of light that kind of mirrors the soul. Even just focusing on the color white is said to purify our perception by stripping away all the noise of the physical world. Now, beyond our physical sight, we have the mind's eye, our imagination. But, and this is a big but, this is where the path gets a little tricky. The teachings are crystal clear that this powerful tool is double-edged, and you've got to use immense caution. So, think of it like this. There are 3 distinct levels. The first one, imagining holy physical objects, like the ancient temple, that's considered safe because it's grounded in a form we know. But the second and third levels, trying to picture purely spiritual concepts like angels or trying to ascend through spiritual planes, those are seen as extremely dangerous for an untrained mind. And the warning here is, wow, it is stark and it is not messing around. Trying these advanced imaginative practices without the right guidance isn't just a little risky, it can literally cause a person to lose their grip on reality, leaving them stranded, just totally disconnected from both the physical and the spiritual worlds. And this leads us to something that seems like a total paradox. I mean, we usually think of spirituality and material wealth as opposites, don't we? But what if a beautiful home and rich surroundings could actually help your spiritual growth? Well, the answer is a fascinating yes, but it all depends on the path you choose. So on one hand, you have the path of asceticism, basically breaking the body's hold through deprivation, making it irrelevant so the soul can shine through. But on the other hand, you've got this path of sweetening. Now, for a highly advanced soul, a beautiful environment can actually elevate the physical world, making it a worthy vessel for the soul's inner richness. It's a path, though, that walks a razor's edge with materialism. All right, this next method of spiritual sight is much more subtle. It's all about recognizing that every creator leaves a kind of energetic and spiritual imprint on everything they make, everything they use, or even interact with. There's actually a specific principle for this. It's called koach hapoel binifal. It basically means the power of the maker is in the thing that is made. The idea is that a person's spiritual essence, their intentions, their inner state, is literally transferred into their actions and the physical objects they handle. So think about what this means. The implication is incredible. If you take a simple object, let's say a cup, that's been used for years by a wise and holy person, their spiritual light literally becomes embedded within it. This means that by looking at that object with deep intention, you can actually connect with the spiritual essence of the person who used it. Okay, so all of these different methods and practices, they are all ultimately leading to one final profound step, the transformation of our regular physical sight into a pure, direct spiritual perception. To really get this, we've got to look at this amazing play on words in Hebrew. So first, we have the word ayin, which simply means eye. This represents our normal, physical sight, the one that perceives the world of objects and forms and somethingness. But, and here's the magic, there's another word, pronounced the exact same way, ayin, but this one means nothingness. And this represents the ultimate goal, to see past the physical something to perceive the boundless, infinite spiritual nothingness from which all of reality actually comes. So the entire spiritual journey, when you boil it all down, is about learning to strip away that outer garment of physical sight. It's not about rejecting our eyes, not at all. It's about using them to see through reality to a deeper awareness. It's about transforming the eye of somethingness into the eye of nothingness. And so, this all leaves us with a question. If your physical eyes are just one layer of perception, what might you truly see if you learn to look at the world and at yourself just a little bit differently?